Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 13 of my Factorio Space Age guide. So in the last episode, we started setting up our shopping mall and we are going to continue on with that in this episode. And then at the end of the episode, I am going to set up steel smelting. I do not have any radars. We need iron. I'm going to set up steel smelting and then I'm going to just kind of fast forward through setting up some stone and the stone brick furnaces. What do I need? A couple of radars. And I'll set radars up over there as well once we get to that point. Okay, so we need radars here. And let's just get some of this set up. Okay, so get back to my screenshot because I'd never be able to recreate what I've come up with. So this one here, so I'm really happy about this because I generally haven't been able to get roboports next to some of the stuff that needed them, but in this case, that is exactly what we were doing. So this will be roboports, and then on the upper side, we're going to have combinators. So that's going to be a constant combinator. We're going to have the decider combinator. We have a new one. The selector combinator. And then the arithmetic combinator. Where did that go? Right there. Okay. Make sure I got the spacing right. Looks like it. So that's that side. And to make the copper wire that's needed for a lot of these, we're going to have a lot of that go in here. So we're going to have a couple things up this way. And one that just kind of a couple of one-off items. All right, so this will be, why does, I always manage to Control X instead of Control C to copy. I always try to cut it. Yeah, go me. Well, that's better than doing that where I'll go like, I placed it in the wrong spot. Yeah, I do that a lot too. Anyways, so these are going to be copper wire. So I'm going to shift right click and shift left click. So I'm going to have 5 copper wire being created. This one will be lights, and oh, I haven't placed a single light. Like, I guess that's the downside of having this mod where it's a little bit more light out, is I have been forgetting the lights, and I haven't placed a single light, I don't think. Yeah, so that's my bad. I will go through and place the lights maybe at the end of one of the episodes and try to remember to continue on with them. We're not going to be making any of these. I've got these are set up. This is set up. This is set up. These are good. And that is it for now. Okay, so we've got lights, and we need the medium electric power poles are going to go there. Sticks for them are going to go here. And the big electric power poles are going to go here. Substation, which we do not have yet, will go here. That's just, I try to keep them all thematic. Thankfully, the ingredients kind of help with that too. Just to kind of keep things set up where they need to be. And then on the top side, we are going to have some new additions to Space Age. We are going to have a space platform here. And I can never remember the name of this. So this one's Space Platform Foundation. This one is Space Platform Starter Pack. Yes. We're going to need one of these every time we create a new, I'm going to say space station, but it's really anything, any machine that we put in space, whether it be a ship or a space station, I mean, they're both basically the same thing. The only difference is one has thrusters and one doesn't. We will need one of those. And then the last item over there is going to be beacons. So for those of you that have played the DLC before, like, you know that a lot of this is largely, like, honestly, most people just break it down and just, oh, they're so lazy. They're going to be like, I'm just going to make a bot mall. And you know what? Bots are way better in Space Age than they were in Factorio 1.0. So that's not exactly a bad thing. But yeah, we are not going to do that. I want to actually have this set up. You know what? So we're not flashing. Let's get some power in here. Excuse me. Why do you not want to make a connection? Okay, that's weird, but whatever. Bro. Whatever. It's better. You know, what's the point of making things look nice if the wiring doesn't also look nice, right? Whoops. I did it again. Go me. I could have just copied and pasted a lot of this in and just ran it through, but you know what? I like building things out. It is what I do. Okay. So now we will not have any more flashing lights problems. Okay. Where were we in setting up belts and stuff? So we have, this one's good. This is getting iron from here. So, okay, that's good. This is good. I think we were good up to here. This is getting in steel from over here. And we are, okay, so because we're going to have, I think I explained this in the last video, because we're going to have green and red circuits coming on both sides, we do not need to run it through the middle. So the only question of what are we running through the middle is, do we need iron plates or gears, or do we need steel? Okay. So all of these chests, they need steel boxes. So the steel boxes will be coming out from here. Well, we're going to have it stored here, but it will come out onto this belt and run up through the middle up to here so that all of these can get steel chests. It's quite a bit of a buffer, but that is quite all right. And then every single one of them will need green and red circuits from the belt that is going to be beside it. Same with a lot of this stuff. So this does not need, you know what? Okay, so let's just talk about this for a second. So these have, these are set up to have green and red come in. They will output onto this belt. And because of the way that we've done this, actually, you know what? This is going to work out great. So these will hop over, and then this belt can come through here. Yes. And then we can just jump it. And that is how we will get the speed modules into the assembling machine 3. It needs quite a bit of them, and we've got 6 of them to create. There's other things that we could do. Like technically, like these are only going to produce, like this is only going to create 50, and this is where we're storing it. But we could also actually help with that, the creation. So we could actually have the 7th one. This is not something that I did whenever I set it up, but this is also an option, which I'm going to leave because I like the idea. Now we have 7 being created because they only produce 0.05 per second, and this thing needs 6 per second. So these will never, even if we had, 20 of these, they would not keep up with the production that this thing requires. Okay, so we've got this set up. These all need boxes. Everything here needs a box. Except for the sticks. We do not need boxes for like the wires and anything that we're not, like, these are not going to be collected because this one is collecting down here. Okay, so we are probably in this section. All right, so this needs gears. So gears are coming in here. And this also needs gears and iron plate, so that's perfect. This needs green circuits, and this one needs green circuits. So we'll output here. Everything will output exactly in the frame above. And this is the best part about this setup, in my opinion, is that you have 2 references for where an item might be. You have the icon on the assembler itself, and you have the box above it. So it'll be a lot easier, much easier to find on the fly if the box is 100% of the time always going to be in the same position. Okay, so this was good. This was good. It's got steel chest coming from here, and the circuits coming from here. Steel chest coming from here, circuits coming from here. This one needs steel and gears. So this is going to be one of those kind of special situations. We're going to have some interesting things start to happen in here. And this is maybe some of the most janky things that I have in this build. I think there's another one on the section next to it, but okay, so starting here, to get steel into this, we are going to have a splitter here so that he can grab the steel from there without using a long hand inserter. Sorry, just making my screenshot a little bit bigger. That way I can make sure I don't mess this part up. So because he has steel coming here, and we want to get copper ore from here over to here, we're going to have to run the copper ore all the way across to this side. Sorry, not the copper ore, the copper plates. And there's a couple of different things that we can do to help us do that. One, we are going to be using underground belts to get over there. But 2, we're going to have something else occupying this slot later, which is copper cables. So we're actually going to wrap copper cables back around, and it will end up coming down through here. Something like this. Nope. like that. Yeah. And so since we have, we're going to have wire coming in through here, we need a way to get the copper over here. Now, I don't necessarily want the steel coming with it. So one thing that you can do is you can actually use the undergrounds to block one of the lanes. Well, you can see this is facing towards the right. We can just hit R and make this now go to the left. And what that will do is we're going to have copper on the left-hand side of this belt. Yes. We're going to have copper on the left-hand side and steel on the right. Now, don't mind these. Like, I could have actually reversed these and had the advanced circuits on the left and green circuits on the right. It will still show the green circuits on the left and red circuits on the right. So don't mind the visual. You definitely want to, you know, if there is some reason to have these on different lanes like this, then you want to have those set up in that way. And I'm not going to, like, if I had, like, this is set up with copper on the left and steel on the right, but if I had it set up like this, I'm not necessarily going to, I needed to have these be, like, pretty simple, right? So at the end of the day, I didn't have too many situations where you have to have a specific setup like this. And in some cases where you did have to have a specific setup, I'll mention it. And 99% of the times, you would have set it up this way anyways. So this is going to prevent the steel from coming through, but allow the copper to go through. So we're going to jump this from here over to here. And then we are going to do some funky stuff here as well. We're going to allow an underground, allow these to go underground so that this can now come in to the middle. Oop, whack, sorry. I needed to scratch my eye and I smacked my microphone. So now we can use undergrounds to basically get to where we want. Which is going to be, so we do need to use these underground, and I'll show you why shortly. This was not right. I needed this to be, I believe, like this. So why am I doing some like weird funky stuff here? So the reason for that is we are out of belt space, basically. So we need a way for these, the copper cables, to one, get their material in, and I guess we don't, and we need to be able to output and have the copper cables go to basically to where we need them. And we can't just, like, I don't know, wrap it around in, wrap it around in like this and be like, okay, we'll just come through here, because we are also going to have materials coming through here. So we actually need to take this steel and we're going to drag it all the way across to the other side here so that this guy can get steel and this guy can get steel. But we still need them to be able to get their copper wire. So the way that we're going to solve that is all of these will output onto, let me make sure this is going to be set up right. Something like this. Yes. So this will come out here. Onto this belt. And this will come out here. Onto this belt. Now we just discussed how I blocked the steel with the underground. So one thing to note is that we need to be careful not to block the copper with this underground. And one of the nice things is inserters they tend to place on the opposite side of the belt. So if we placed an inserter here, it would place it on the right side of this belt. But when you have a situation where the belt is traveling away from or towards the output, it will always put it on the right-hand side of the direction of travel. So this copper cable will be placed on the right-hand side here, and this copper cable here will also be placed on the right-hand side. So everything traveling up through this belt will be on the right-hand side and therefore not be blocked off by this underground belt here. And also what that allows us to do is now we can pull copper cable off of these into these two. So these need output, and this one needs an output here. This one will just feed into the lights. So it will have plenty of copper cables to itself. So then let's take a look at how we're gonna get steel in here. And I know it would be much easier if I had this, like if I had the materials coming in to kind of show you all at the same time, but if you make a mistake, it's a huge problem if you've got these materials on the belt. So because of that, I definitely prefer to set things up first and then attach them after. We just have to keep in mind that this is, this one is copper and steel. This one is green and red circuits. This one is green and red circuits. This one was, I don't know what, iron plates and gears, and then mirrored over on the left-hand side. So we need some iron, and we do not need the copper, so we can. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We don't need the copper to come through, but we don't necessarily have to do what we did before. But we can. No, we're not going to. So this is going to go underground here and underground through these belts. And then it will come out in a way that will allow all of these to get steel. Okay, that is good. And then on this side, so this needs copper cable, which we have coming in from beside it. It needs iron plates, which we have on this side, on the left-hand belt, and it needs green circuits, which will be on the right-hand belt. So we are going to jump this belt here. Like that, and then we're gonna have a little inserter, so, or sorry, a little whatchamacallit, splitter, and then I'm gonna bring a power pole right here. I like to keep all the power poles lined up if possible. It's, it's not always possible, but when you can do it, let's just do it. And then it needs green circuits, which will be coming off this belt here. Again, with this one, this is not connected. This is not touching, so we are good for this one as well. And I think the last thing that we need green and red circuits for is the substation here. Okay, so let's just make sure that we've got everything we need. This needs cable. Let's come through here. It needs sticks, which are, oh, there you go. We need sticks. It needs steel, which is coming from here. The sticks need copper plates. So this is another one of those really funky, awkward situations. We have iron plates coming through here. And how am I going to do this? This is actually the last thing that we need. So I don't have to do too much funky stuff, but I do need to have some funkiness. So we're going to have this come through and then just right up to the copper stick. So that gets to take everything that it needs off of this belt. A little janky, but you know what? It is what it is when we're trying to cram these a lot closer together. So this one I'm not worried about too much yet. These two, we can hold off a lot on these. You know what? We actually already have most of the ingredients, so let's just go ahead and assume that we're going to be able to set it up. So this needs copper wire, and this needs steel. So steel, the steel will come up and nope. The steel belt will end all the way down here. And did I run out of undergrounds? I did. Let's tell you what. Oh, so close. Yeah, we'll just leave it ghosted in for now. I'll just grab some iron and whatchamacallit, gears and make what we need. Wait, so let's take a look at what the copper cable is going to do, because we've sent it underground. We've sent it to this line here, but there's other things that need the copper wire. So this guy needs copper wire, copper cable, so he can just take it right off the belt from there. These are all going to be putting on the right hand side. I'm just making sure that the copper wire is going to stay on the right hand side. This did not need any of that, but it does need the space platform foundation. This needs steel from there, and this will need steel from here, and the substation will need steel from here. Now the substation is done. It's getting wire, copper cable from here, it's getting red circuits from here, and it's getting steel from here. And just needs an output. Okay, so now all of these are complete. Steel, cable, good. This one will need blue circuits. And this is the only thing that's going to be like super awkward and weird for our setup, because we're going to have to drag it. We're going to end up having some blue circuits come in over here, and we're going to have to drag it and do some funky stuff just to get that over here. I honestly really wish that they would have had this be something that wasn't blue circuits, or maybe not needed both, let's say, copper cable from this. Like, had this had a different ingredient, then these two could have been somewhere else and it would have been probably fine. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. Back here, just because it's kind of a little bit of an afterthought and we needed copper plates, iron plates, and gears for it, we are going to be making some gun turrets back here. And then this is the last thing that we need iron and gears for, and then it can collect its copper from here. Yep. Iron, copper, and gears. Okay. Now for the cable management. No pun intended. So this is going to underground to here. All of these need these. Ugh. Alright, I'm just gonna go grab some more underground belts, because we will need a few more. Hey, and at least we're decently close. Close to the starter base. Man, I really need to get rid of some of this stuff. Actually, since we're here, And I'm gonna need some of these. Oh, no, 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 no. I have a lot. Didn't even realize. Because I'm going to be I will be setting up the stone smelting at the end of this episode. And hopefully I have enough of everything that I need to do that. Miners. I will definitely need some miners. I'm sure I'll need to come back for something, but like I said, I won't bore you with that. I'll end the episode and then just have like a little speed setup at the end. I like to show my work so that you know, whatever pains you might have gone through, I also went through. And I didn't just like cheat my way through it. Okay, so where were we? This was copper cables. And I believe the last thing that we needed from this was here. Okay, so this is a selector combinator. I honestly haven't done much with them. I haven't tried to do much with them. I almost don't care to do much with them, but if you want to try to use them, here they are. They perform sorting operations on circuit network signals. So it has the capability of like changing things within, like let's say it's like it can set different recipes for the assemblers as an example. Change the quality on them, various things like that. All right, combinator. Constant combinator needs copper wire, so we need to get some copper wire down into here. That's what I've set this up for. And that is what this is here. I got rid of all my copper plate. I was gonna toss one of these in there so I could show you the pathing, but whatever. You'll just have to take my word for it, I guess. So this is gonna get copper wire from here. And it also needs green circuits, which will come in from here. That is going to be this belt. And then this belt needs to continue on as well. Actually, that's the end of this one. So this also needs copper cable, which we're going to get from this belt, and green circuits, which we're going to end off with this belt. The beacon needs copper cable, which is going to come from here, and steel, which is going to come from here. The constant combinator is getting its copper cables from here, and green circuits from here. So now you can kind of see why I set up a couple things the way that I did. Okay, we are 33 minutes into this episode, and I need to hook a lot of this up first. You know what? No. We will, too much talking. We will hook this all up in the next episode because I need to do the circuit connections as well. We need to get some steel. So I don't know if you remember, but I said that the ore for the steel we would bring it in through this line here. I bet I don't have enough belts to do this. Okay, so we are going to bring this over. Maybe I won't do all of them. Let's just... I'll more or less just show you what we need to do. I'll bring in one belt so that we can actually set it up. Oh, geez. okay, it's throwing me off. When you're holding shift, the ghosts actually, everything is backwards. The rotations are backwards, so. No. All right, so let's get this lane in. And I will show you, no! And then I'll show you what we're gonna do with steel. Right, there's our one iron ore that we're gonna have for steel smelting. And steel is here. Yep. Okay, so our first line will be here. And wait a minute. How did I have these set up? So my first so we're still going to do kind of the same thing that we did with the other ones, where this will come up through here, and we need to make it come out through here. But these need to go in this direction, because half of them will be the actual iron bar production, and the other half will be the steel. So we're going to do kind of similar to what we did over here. So we're going to have them split, and the copper will be on one side, or the copper, yes. The iron ore will be on one side, and the coal will be on the other side, so that they will split and come through, and then we will have a cutoff section where iron ore will not continue down, but the steel plates will, the iron plates will, and then the steel plates will then feed out and merge, but instead of going out like in this direction, they will cut back through across and go down the line in this direction, so that we can have them come back out the front. So to kind of keep this like nice and tidy, I guess, the way that we're going to set this up, I probably shouldn't have hooked that up yet. Since we know that we have 24 on this side, I'm going to set up 12. And then cut it off. This will then need to wrap around here, and then we will have like this. No. And make sure that these arrows, you can see the arrows, the deltas on top. You can see that they're all facing towards the right. That's what we want. So we want this lane to block the iron ore on the left-hand side, and allow the coal on the right-hand side to continue on to this belt. And then this will now be iron plates on the right and coal on the left. All right, so now we can just set it all up. And we're only doing the one right now. We will come back and do the other ones later, like as we start running out of steel. So once these merge, we're going to have them merge here. And then these will just underground pretty much as far as we can take them. All right, that was a bad idea. There, that'll work out much better. Watch it not work out here at the end. Oh. All right, that's good enough. What? And remember, this is not our steel line. Our steel line is farther down this way. So we are going to continue and have this come down here. So that is now our steel line. 41 minutes. All right, let's hurry this up. Nope. Inserters. Now remember, the steel is now going to be bringing them in the opposite direction, so don't face them towards the middle belt. You want to have them facing towards the outer belt. Let's get this thing connected to power. Everyone's good? Nope, not down here. We need this side. Okay, I see no ghost blueprints. We can now turn this bad boy on. There we go. And of course, I did exactly what I told you not to do. And I put all of these in the wrong direction. Go me. Okay, everybody's firing up. And we have steel. So, that will be our setup for steel, and we should probably get rid of these. I'll go through, I'll just do this kind of mostly off camera. I'll go through and remove a bunch of these and copy this build onto these. But one last thing that I would like to mention is that once we start bringing in more steel, instead of being like this, it will need to look more like this. So all of these will merge together to form a single belt. Alright, so once we get, oh my goodness, all these trees. And they're so loosely scattered, it's not like I'm just gonna grenade them all. Alright, so let's get this down. I am gonna need to grab some more belts. Okay, we are close to 45 minutes into this. We need to end up somewhere in the ballpark of this. Okay. So, that is gonna be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to continue working on filling out the new mall. We're going to hook everything up to make sure that it's good to go. We're going to set our circuits on, you know, to limit the amount of items that are going to the chest. So that is going to be it for me. I will see you in the next episode. Now I'm going to go I'm going to go place some miners down for the stone and set up the stone brick. So I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.